All right, well, I'm in the line in front of the Disneyland gate, and got in security about 6:50, got through really quickly, about 10 people in front of me in line, and then we're gonna scan in a little while and then head for the next rope. But so far going well, and I don't know, the vibes are good, the weather's perfect. This is gonna be great. It's about 7:15 now, so we'll just keep moving forward here, and let's just play the music right now. Let's do it. You're listening to the Tomorrow Society podcast. Go.
Hey there, welcome to day 2 of my Disneyland solo trip report. I'm going to try and keep this pretty short because I did record quite a bit on this first day in the parks. Just in case you didn't listen to last week, this is part 2 of a 4-part little mini series podcast, all covering my solo trip to Disneyland that happened in the first week of February. And the approach is basically mostly audio clips that I use my trusty voice memos app on my iPhone and just recorded them. Last week was mostly from airports and then downtown Disney. This week is basically all from Disneyland and Disney California Adventure, talking about rides I've done, food I've eaten, everything. Finishing off the night at the Howard Johnson in the Room with a very tired sounding Dan. And I'm just doing this brief clip just to introduce it and to say thanks to everyone for your awesome comments and feedback. I could tell some people were excited to have this little return of the show. Not a full return, just kind of a fun little, it's like I'm jumping in saying, here, enjoy this, and then leaving. It was super fun to go to Disneyland. I had such a great trip that it's kind of fun for me now to listen to these clips and edit this together and just remember what it was like for me on the spot to basically be experiencing these parks, and it was such a blast. So I know you want to get to the parks. You don't want to hear me here in St. Louis in my studio talking away. So let's get right to the parks. Let's go back to the morning with Dan at Disneyland. I got through the rope drop, did some rides, and I'll tell you all about it. And I hope you enjoy this experience, and I will come back at the end just to set the stage for next week. So let's do it. Take it away, Dan, several weeks ago.
Well, I think after doing a bunch of rides as I head to Tomorrowland, I will actually do a little recording here. So everything worked out great with the rope drop. I was able to basically get right to basically just one person in front of me at the Fantasyland rope drop. Stood there for a while and then got right on Peter Pan. Was basically like the 8th person in line or 10th person or whatever. Rode that. The line got really long, real fast. And looks great. I mean, I don't think I've experienced it with the effects that got changed and added in, I think, like 2015. And looks so much better than the one at the Magic Kingdom. They need to make similar updates to that one for sure. Very cute, very cool. Does not showing his age at all. Was going to do Alice in Wonderland, but then there was a long line. So changed gears, did Mr. Toad. Love Mr. Toad. Not as good, of course, as the original Walt Disney World version, but still incredible. Then, and it's still so funny that you end up going to hell and it's all hot and everything. It's so ridiculous. Love that. Then immediately went and did Pinocchio because there was no line. Like literally 1 minute wait. That's such a creepy, weird ride. Such a fun house ride because they really lean into the Pleasure Island side of it. I've done that before, like Mr. Toad, but both of them are awesome. And with no wait or great, was going to head out then because I had reserved a lightning lane at Space Mountain right when I came in. Actually moved it back 10 minutes just in case, but that's where I'm heading now actually. And it's still probably not much of a wait, and they have single rider, but I want to do this, use lightning lane, so then I can reserve Indiana Jones before that goes too late. Because you never know, that one will jump. It is not super crowded today, I will say. But then there was like a family that I had followed into Mr. Toad. Not followed, that sounds creepy, but had gone into Mr. Toad, and then they went to Pinocchio and Pinocchio, and then they went to Casey Jr., which I've never ridden. And I was like, well, it's a little weird riding solo, whatever. And then I ended up in a cage with other people because that was the only seat left. But I've never ridden Casey Jr. because we went on a really busy day, and even the wait would be 15, 20 minutes. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. So never rode it. And it's really cute. It's so much fun. I love the music and the whole deal. It's just, it's a cute ride. And then had planned again to go to Space Mountain, but then walk by the Matterhorn Fantasyland side, did single rider, and was the only one doing single rider. It said 5 minutes, but I think it was more like a 15-minute wait. It would have been. And got right on. Never done the Matterhorn either because of the it being down every time. I mentioned that for refurb. Finally did that. Really fun. I'm curious to see how the Tomorrowland side is because I've heard that one has more drops. This one is all turns. It's basically like Space Mountain at Disneyland. Very, very similar, but I loved it. I thought it was so cool. I love the history of it. Being basically the first tubular and steel coaster. It's pretty awesome. Can't wait to do the Tomorrowland side. I think I'm going to do that after Space Mountain. I'm going to head right over there and then do Buzz Lightyear. So far, I have not waited for anything, but I'm sure that'll change real soon. Space Mountain says 30, so with Lightning Lane, I'll probably still wait like 10. But everything's going great. And I mean, waking up at 6, going to Panera real quick, and then ultimately rushing over there. Sure, maybe I could have got there a little later and not really mattered, but it was worth the effort. And this is one benefit of solo. This is, I'm just an early riser more than family members. And just having one person versus multiple people. And again, I love going with family. It's so much fun. All of them are great. And that is, it's not the same when you're riding stuff by yourself. But there are benefits like this because I am flying through the rides. Now I just got to slow down so I don't get exhausted. All right. Well, I'm going to check out Space Mountain. I'll check in a little later. All right, I'm having to force myself to take a break because I just keep doing more and more and more rides. I've done 11 rides, about an hour and 45 minutes, and waited almost nothing. I think the longest wait was for Star Tours. I think I waited 7 minutes maybe, and that was standby. But so far, Lightning Lane's been almost not needed. I used it for Space Mountain. And it'll be helpful for Indiana Jones, though I know that only takes you through the outdoor queue. I have that at 10:15 to 11:15, I believe. And right now it's 9:55. So since the last talk, I did another Space Mountain single rider. So I did that twice. Love it. All turns, not really any drops. I mean, that's what I recognize. I think I like the original a little more than Hyperspace, just because I feel like the music and effects, it's old school classic, but with onboard audio. So I think that's cool. And then I did Buzz Lightyear twice. Didn't do great each time, 41,000, 45,000. I don't know any of the tricks, so I'm just kind of playing it by ear. Then I did Star Tours. We had Hoth and Ahsoka, so that was kind of a neat combo. I wasn't sure if everything was just so randomized, but that's definitely a random combo. That was fun. And then I did the Tomorrowland side of the Matterhorn, which is ridiculous. I was watching an El Toro Ryan video, and he was doing questions, but I also watched when it was at Disneyland. He was talking about how unhinged that side is. I mean, the Fantasyland side feels a lot like Space Mountain. It's a little rougher, but it seems to slow down more. And the Tomorrowland side is just insane. Oh my goodness. I am glad that I am in decent shape. That's all I'll say, because my body can handle it. I just turned 50, big milestone. But I can handle coasters pretty well, even rough ones. And that one's rough, but also because I can handle it, it's also super fun. And I thought it was great. So now I ordered a cold brew, mobile order, when I was in line at Star Tours for Jolly Holiday. I'm not going to eat any food there now, but it was a short delay. It was ready, so I'm heading for that now. I'm going to go do Indy, head over to Adventureland, see how the Jungle Cruise line looks. I'm going to look ahead and see because if you want to do the mobile order Dole Whip, you basically sometimes have to order an hour plus in advance. So I'm going to look at that right after this. I could also go and get the different ones like the Tiki Hideaway, but I figure we'll start here and do this. And then we will proceed Adventureland, probably do Pirates Haunted Mansion, and then, try to use more of my lightning lanes if I can, and then just kind of go from there. So that's a quick update. I hope you enjoyed that. Right now, I'm just, while trying to talk, also searching for a restroom, and then going to Jolly Holiday. I'm kind of back towards Main Street now, and it's so easy to navigate. It's so much smaller than Magic Kingdom, as all of you know, but just so easy to navigate, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to go from the far corner of Tomorrowland down to Main Street to Adventureland, and it's not like the most insane thing. But lots of stuff to do. Want to do Big Thunder. I'm really treating this first day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stay here till early afternoon. Then I'm going to go to DCA and hit things I can do with Lightning Lane. Maybe not Guardians, but some of the others. Do Single Rider, and on Soaring, because I want to do Around the World today because California comes back tomorrow. Woo, it's so awesome. Can't believe it. Timed it accidentally that I get to ride California hopefully tomorrow. Web Slingers, things like that. So I'm going to go grab my coffee, and then I'll check in later. I realized I haven't talked for a long time since I got cold brew at like 10 something. So I figured I'd catch up. I've just been going ride to ride to ride and doing a few things, and it's really been flying by. So let's try to remember everything I did. I was going to go do Indy, which of course was down because that's the law. So then, let me think. Then I did Jungle Cruise. Had about a 10-minute wait. It wasn't bad. My skipper was really great. So now I forgot his name. That's unfortunate. But very fun. I always underestimate how much I enjoy the terrible dad jokes and puns on the Jungle Cruise. But it's really cool. And then did Pirates of the Caribbean. Great as always. It's just so many people have talked forever about Pirates and how the Disneyland version is superior, but you really feel it in the beginning, like 5, 6, 7 minutes of the ride, where it just has so much time to build, not just the 2 drops, but the slow build, where by the time you finally get to the ship and the town and everything, it feels like it's just a natural progression. Where in Florida, I understand, I still love Florida's Pirates of the Caribbean. The cave scenes are incredible. But there's a little jarring. You go down the small drop, and then it's like, bam, we're at the ship. And before you know it, you get to the end, you're done. And not going back up the waterfall. Like, even if Florida was similar, but let you go back up the waterfall, would be better. But yeah, I'm going to definitely do Pirates a few more times, either today or tomorrow, because can't get enough of that one. I've ridden it quite a few times. And so then Indy opened, so went back to that, and got to ride it. Oh my goodness, it wasn't like 2023. Actually got to ride. And it's so good. It's so good. It's like you forget, having ridden dinosaurs so many times and Indies sometimes not much, just the scale that if they're able to even come close to that, they're not going to have the same level of the queue probably, though I hope they do have some elements or some aspects. But the ride is so epic, and there's so much to it, and it's fun, and everybody laughs, and everybody cheers, and the thrills, and the effects were all seem to be working from what I could tell. There weren't any dead spots. Super awesome, and it looks like the single rider line is working, so I will be checking that out maybe later today. If not later today, I will be using it a few times on the longer day tomorrow. Also got my World of Color virtual queue at noon. I went and got, after Indy, because I was like, hey, I finally did it. Went to Tropical Hideaway, which didn't used to have mobile order, again, in 23. Now did, and there was no wait for either one. I think the reason being for that or the Tiki Juice Bar was because the Tiki Room's closed all day. So people aren't as apt to use that and then go sit in the Tiki Room, which was my plan, but of course then I realized it was closed all day. But I ordered a peach and pineapple Dole Whip. I think they gave me strawberry and pineapple, but still great. So that's all I've eaten really today, besides breakfast at Panera. I think I'm going to take the advice of several people I know, including my friend Jamie and also Tim Grassi from Already Called, about maybe doing a corn dog. I never eat corn dogs ever, but I hear the ones at the Little Red Wagon are incredible. But before I do that, I had one more thing I did. After I ate, I went on Big Thunder using my Lightning Lane reservation. I was basically like I reserved it, and like 30 minutes later I was on it. It would have had about a 40-minute wait. I waited about 5 minutes. Love Big Thunder. I love the effects at the end. That still might be my favorite Disneyland Resort coaster, but it's right there with Space Mountain. And then, of course, Matterhorn Tomorrowland's really good. But right now, I'm thinking that's probably... I just love how classic it is and how it's just the 3 lift hills and everything. Oh, after that, I rode the Mark Twain because, of course, when you don't have the Rivers of America in Florida, you've got to go enjoy them in California. And the Columbia's not running today, unfortunately. I hope it's running tomorrow. but the Mark Twain is running today. And got right on it. Like I said, I was only going to get on it if it was like near loading. I wasn't going to stay on there for 20 minutes. It was loading, got right on. Awesome experience as always, so relaxing. And it's actually really sunny and warm. So this is going to change up what I'm going to do. I did get a lightning lane for Haunted Mansion, which I'm going to do next. I did that, scanned into that right after Big Thunder. And then I think I'm going to do Tiana's. Either I'm going to see if the lightning lane soon, or I might just do single rider. Because it's so sunny and warm after being up there that even if I get soaked, after this, I think I'm going to start heading back, get food, see Walt, and then head to California Adventure. So I think after Haunted Mansion, we're going to check out Tiana's if it's open, which I've never ridden it on either coast. So that'll be a completely new one for me, not even just like a new variation. But I have ridden that ride at Splash Mountain, of course, including on the last day. But for now, let's. I'm going to go do Haunted Mansion, heading that way back to New Orleans Square, and then we're going to check out Tiana's, and maybe I'll check in with you after all that, or maybe even after I get food, because I am starting to get hungry. And so after these few, I think I'll definitely be ready to check out mobile order. So far, I mobile ordered both things, no problem with either one. Going to keep doing that because if I don't have to wait very long, why bother? That's what I think. It works so well. As long as it's a place that offers it, as long as I think ahead, it's going to be good. All right, we're going to get out of the sun for a little bit and get inside and see some ghosts. And I'll go do that now. So we have reached the things stop working portion of the day. It has to happen. You can never go through a whole day without something not working. And that has definitely happened. Not a ridiculous fashion, but a little bit. So, got in line for Tiana's. I did Haunted Mansion. That was cool, like always. Got in line for Tiana's. Single rider. It seemed like it was going to take a little while. Not an insane amount of time, but a little while. But then, I was maybe 7 or 8 people. And then it's like, the announcement comes over. The whole thing's down. They kicked everybody out of the line. So not a minor thing. So I haven't checked to see if it's back. Since that point, I was like, I'm going to... First, I went and ate. That worked out great. Corn dogs at Little Red Wagon, legit. And I don't really have anything to compare it to because I don't really eat corn dogs very much. Really at all, especially as an adult. But, one of the unhealthier things I could probably ever eat. But if you're at a Disney park, come on, I guess. But it was really good. I heard great things and it lived up to the hype. And then the Celebrate Happy Cavalcade started. So I kind of tried to sit up high. I think it was actually the Plaza's seating, but there was like no one there. So I went ahead and did that, caught a little of that. That song's really repetitive, but you got the weird mix of characters, Duffy and princesses and all kinds of different people. And then said, okay, well, I'll go see Walt. Because I had reserved a Soarin' Around the World Lightning Lane, but it was a little further out. And I went and the door was just shut. And I was like, well, that's weird. And I asked the guy, and apparently they were having a retirement party, but at 3 it was going to open, which was about an hour away, and Lincoln would be there. I was like, oh, okay. Well, what about tomorrow? He's like, oh, it'll probably just be Lincoln again, but I'm not sure. And I was like, well, that's really? Okay. I love Great Moves Mr. Lincoln. I'll be excited to see it probably tomorrow, but then he said he thinks the Walt animatronic is broken. And then he kind of hesitated, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But, again, it could just be down for a day or whatever. He wasn't sure. He said he didn't know. But interesting. Now I'm at DCA, and I have found all the people hanging out in the Hollywood area. I did reserve a lightning lane for... I rode Sword Around the World. I gotta say, it's a good ride. It doesn't, it's not as inspiring or anything for me. But, like I said, I was sat in the very middle. 3rd row, though, so I was below everybody. But Eiffel Tower looked great because you're in the middle, and they did fix it a little bit. But everything else was fine. Hopefully the announcement is accurate that tomorrow Soarin' Over California will be there, because it'll be fun to be able to do both in back-to-back days. But like I said, I reserved a lightning lane for Monsters Inc. ride, because of course that's going to be gone soon. And now I'm heading over to Avengers Campus because I want to go do single rider on Web Slingers. Probably didn't walk the quickest way, actually. Guardians, their lightning lanes went fast. That's tomorrow's thing. Tomorrow, first lightning lane reservation. But today, I don't think I'm even going to ride it because it's like really long line. Probably going to go back and try Tiana's later, though. I'll probably see if I can use my lightning lane just because the single rider did not seem to be the quickest. We'll see how it is with web slingers. And then I'm going to see about doing Radiator Springs Racers after this. Single rider, or maybe after Monsters. We'll see. With the 3 seating, it should be good. I'm going to see if I can avoid paying the $18. If I have to pay it, I will. But I'll probably do that tomorrow, but we'll see how it looks. As now we head into Avengers Campus by the impressive, gaudy Guardians building. And I'm going to head towards Web Slingers, and I'll check in later. All right, well, it has been a while since I recorded, so it is possible that I skip something or that I'm going to repeat something. But if I repeat something, I'll edit that out. But if I skip it, I don't know what to tell you. So I did single rider on Web Slingers, which works so well. You wait literally like five minutes or something. And then once you're into the pre-show, then it's kind of, you actually get to skip a lot of the rest of the line too. So that's one of the better single rider. You still get to see the pre-show, and really all you do is skip. And plus too, even though there's groups of 4, there's a lot of groups of 2 and 3. I actually did that twice. I think that Web Slingers is a sleeper hit of DCA. It's not the number 1. I think number 1 is Radiator Springs Racers, and 2 is probably Guardians. And then if Soar Over California was there, it actually would pass Guardians for me. It may be 1, but I think Web Slingers is better than Soaring Around the World, and it's so much fun. And I notice each time more kind of additional aspects of it, like physical sets and everything. This is not just a Justice League ride from Six Flags. This is a lot more. The swinging, it's exhausting, but it's also really fun to throw your arms around like that. So I'm inclined to think, we'll see what I think when I ride Guardians tomorrow. I don't think it's better than Guardians, but it's still really fun. Because like I did it, and I'm going to do it a few more times tomorrow. And I hadn't even used the lightning lane because it was later and the single rider took such a little time. So I did that. I tried to do single rider for Radiator Springs Racers. Did not work. Got in line, and the line was so long and barely moving that I got out of line. And I just spent the $18. And granted, I got some gift cards for my birthday that I'd already told myself I wanted to use on the trip. We're not like saving them for the future or some Disney store purchase. I was like, use the gift card. Used it. The funny thing was that it wasn't really loading very well. So what happened is I had to leave Cars Land. Then I could finally get it to load to enter the payment method, then come all the way back. And now I was kind of like, did I save any time? Maybe? I don't know. I think maybe I could. If I hadn't worked right away, I would have saved probably 30, 40 minutes. Because of all the time it took, I might have saved 15. Because I did see the people I was near and I was ahead of them, but not as much as I would like. I don't know. Radiator Springs Racers is great. It was only the second time I've ever done it. Both times we paid. I think I'm going to try and do it tomorrow morning. I don't know if I'm going to rope drop to it or if I'm just going to go there early and do single rider in the morning. So did that and enjoyed it. Such a blast. I want to try and do it at least once tomorrow. I'm not going to pay for it, so it might only be one time. And then we're starting today, tomorrow at California Adventure, so we'll do more there. But I plan to spend most of tomorrow at Disneyland. I find California Adventure to be kind of exhausting. Like right now I'm in the Grizzly Peak area, which is very calming and whatever, but that middle stretch, when you're at Hollywoodland, and then you're also over there by Avengers Campus, Cars Land, all the people is just a disaster. I mean, it's just, you have these really wide pathways, but everyone's going different directions. And it's just, even today, not nearly as crowded. It's a touring plan, it's 5, but not nearly as crowded as the last time I was here, which was around just after Memorial Day in 23. Still just so crazy. But did Monsters Inc. last time. I'll probably do that, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, just because if I have lightning lane, whatever, if I'm near the area. But one of the last times I'll do it. Cute dark ride. I'm fine to lose it for Pandora. It's not like Ride and Go Seek, which I've never done. But cute. Then went back and thought I was waiting to see the Spider-Man show, but ended up instead, I was standing in the wrong place. This is me not knowing Disneyland as well, or California Adventure especially. And so what happened is I saw the Dora Milaje show, which was super cool. That's a really cool show. That's really neat. They got the kids involved, but also they're really, the 3 people as the Dora Milaje were really good, especially the leader was awesome. I watched the whole show. Then I did Web Slingers again, like I mentioned, came out, and then the Spider-Man show was playing right there, the 30-minute later Spider-Man show. So I watched that. It's so funny that Spider-Man is so much bigger than the animatronic, who's real slender, and then Spider-Man's like this big dude, and so everybody appreciates it. It's still really cool. The technology is really cool. I've never watched the whole show. I've watched parts of it, but to see the transition, I like it. I like that they did it. It's very silly, and because Spider-Man's kind of a silly character in this one anyway, even his little rolls and flips are kind of silly. Oh, there goes the monorail. I'm going to try and ride that tomorrow for sure. At some point, just, I don't even know when. I might just come out of DCA and walk over there. There's not really, like, maybe I'll just do the full loop from Disneyland because it's a long day when I want to rest. And so I did that, and then I got this egg roll from the Lunar New Year booth, which was awesome. Oh my gosh. So good. So good. If you're around the next few weeks, you should get it. It was great. And then I also went and got a beer from the Mama Cass, or I forget the name. It's not Mama Cass. I think it's Aunt Cass Cafe. I apologize. Like a California brewery IPA that was pretty solid. So I had that. It's not really a full dinner. It's kind of some food. I figure I'll probably eat something more later. But maybe just getting smaller things versus a big meal. But we'll see how I feel. I did book Tiana's again. Lightning Lane this time because single riders seem kind of ridiculous. I think that's like 6. Right now it's almost 5. But I'm going to go try single rider and Soaring Around the World because I'm here. I do enjoy it. It's a relaxing ride. I get to sit down for a while. Let's see how long this takes. I don't think it'll be a Radiator Springs Racers situation. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to head back over. Also, I tried to meet Walt, like I said, and that didn't work. But I may go do Lincoln, or I may just save that for tomorrow. But if it's open, I may just do that, just because I need to sit and rest. Even though we only have like 4 more hours, I'm really feeling it. So I'm going to check out single rider here. I'll check in later. So I left DCA, and oh my God, there's this giant line of people in front of the Esplanade because it was 5:30, and at 6 they're all going to get let in to the park because for the special event. They get let in a little bit early. Though it sure looks like they've already been let in. There's a lot of people here, but maybe I'm just seeing a ton of people scrambling here. But because right now it's about 5:45, and it's kind of changed my thoughts because I wasn't considering the fact that they would come in early. And I was thinking, well, I'll probably just do some stuff with no line. Then I'll go watch Wanderous. Then I'll go watch World of Color. But I think that's a mistake because I feel like with all these people in there, it's just going to be insane. So, I mean, I know there's a lot of special event stuff, but they're going to all go to rides too. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Tiana's because I still have that, even though it's colder out now, so this might be a mistake. Probably is, but I'm going to go to Tiana's because I don't like leaving it for the last day because I've never done it before, and it's like, you just don't know. So we're going to do that. We'll see how it goes. Let's open into the back. And then I reserved a Smuggler's Run Lightning Lane, which I know I should mention what I've done before that. Before that, I did Soaring Around the World. And I got to say, when you're tired and not on very much sleep and you just want to chill, Soaring Around the World is very good at that. And it's hard to be too down about a ride that makes everybody clap at the end. And I know that also happened with California. But I mean, come on. People were just really happy about it. So I'm like, what can I say? It's cool. So, did that. Heck, if I go back in, I may do it again in California. I'm not sure if there's not a line. Because I only waited standby. It said 25. I might be waited 10 or 15. So, did that. And then I used my Lightning Lane for Star Tours. Probably only saved me 10 minutes, but I had it. So why not use it? Because I had done standby earlier. This time I got Hoth again and Ahsoka again. I'm like, what is going on? But then the final thing was different. It was Naboo. And I don't know if I caught the thing where 3PO's like, maybe this Gunga could help us. And then it's Jar Jar and he slams into it. And then I've seen Jar Jar on there. I just didn't really catch the whole thing. And the 3PO's like, yeah, probably not. Which to me is really funny. So, all right. Gonna go do Tiana's. Hopefully it will not break. This time I have a Lightning Lane, so I'm not going to be dealing with single rider. And maybe I'll be able to ask to be in the back. That's the thought. Maybe. Gonna do Smuggler's Run because with a Lightning Lane, even if people actually go that way coming in for this special event, there's only so much they can do because they have to, they can only do standby. They can't have lightning lanes. So that's where I'm like, okay, let's reserve that. So we've got 2 lightning lanes. No matter what they do, they can't do anything. Now the question is, of course, I don't really have any more of them that can work that way. I'm probably just gonna prioritize World of Color. Now I need to get some more food at some point, but I'm thinking I may just do these 2 things I just mentioned. I probably might be a little wet or a lot wet. We'll see. And then I may do Mr. Lincoln if that's still open. And then I may just get out of here, because if you've got all the people from the party here, things that like pirates, which don't have lightning lane, are gonna get mobbed. And I've got a whole nother day that I probably will ride pirates multiple times, especially late at night when it's, I want to at least do it 2 more, if not more. But I just think today with me trying to do so many other things, and with it closing early, I don't think that's a good idea. It's already a big line right now as I'm walking past it right now, actually. So I think we're doing two at most 3 more things. And that would only be Lincoln on the way out. And then I'm probably going back to DCA. And then I'm just going to hang out there so that I can be ready for World of Color. Because, I did do the virtual queue. They call you probably like 45 minutes early. And I wasn't thinking, I'd even be there at that point. Or I think it might be a rush because of Wondrous. I mean, the World of Color is not till 9. But if I'm able to get in there early, grab something to eat, just chill, that seems like a more fun way to do it than trying to maximize everything. When I know Wondrous Journey does play tomorrow, so I'll try to see it tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, you got to think about this. They're going to add a lot of people to this park. For 2 hours, it's going to be all the day guests, the normies like me, and then all the special event people all at once. And they're coming in with a bolt of energy, trying to think, what can we do early? I don't know. That doesn't seem like the best way for me to enjoy my time here at Disneyland. When I'm thinking tomorrow, I'm going to start at DCA, spend time there, but then I'm probably not going to jump back and forth a bunch of times. Especially if I do World of Color tonight, I probably will spend, I don't know, maybe till noon. And then I'm going to probably spend the rest of the day at Disneyland. So you're looking 4 or 5 hours at DCA, 12 hours at Disneyland. And I may even stack lightning lanes early. So it's going to be very different. But we're getting close to Tiana's now, where I can hope that I don't get completely drenched. And then if I do, at least we're near the end of the day. I'm not doing this, the sun's not out anymore. It's totally dark. It's very pretty. I'll have to get some pictures when I come back past here. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I've never done Tiana's ever. So try 2 here. But first, we're going to get ourselves prepped and we get to it. I'll talk again in a little bit, let you know how wet I am. So this is what happens when you get really tired and your body starts hurting and you're just kind of going from one thing to the next. And even when you stop and you sit for a while, you don't think, I could record something right here. And so you don't. And then you go, wow, I did a lot of things. But I'm back in the room now. It is a little after 10 o'clock. And I stayed the whole time. So, like I said, I hit the security a little bit before 7 after eating at Panera this morning, and then left. It was probably 9:40 something, maybe a little later, when I finally got out of DCA after watching World of Color Happiness, because it ends like 9:30 something, and then what happens is you realize I am really far from the entrance. This is not even like, Main Street or whatever, and you're on the hub. No, this is really far. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. So let's go through. I might forget something, but I'll try to hit the highlights here, since, this is the last recording I'm doing about this day 2. And in one sense, it's weird because I felt like I recorded so much, and then I added up, and it's like, not that long. I mean, it's a lot of recording, I guess. It's just because I'm not going to add in a bunch more things until maybe the last episode talking overall. But I will try to sum it up and give some details also about how I felt about the day. But first, I did Tiana's. First time I've ever ridden it. First of all, Tiana's was great. All the animatronics appear to be working. I mean, it's the first time I've ridden it, so I can't compare, but I didn't notice any broken animatronics. I didn't notice any figures not moving. Everything seemed really lively. There were more figures than I expected, and there weren't the dead zones that Splash Mountain had because they ran out of money, which I've talked to people about, that there was a stretch of time where you're like, you're just in the dark. I don't know. And that kind of did actually work, especially at Disney World, because I felt like there's more of that because it's a bit longer. That kind of made everything feel a little more ominous. Where here, the whole thing is like, it's a party. Come on and hang out with us and we'll have our party. And I mean, it's a lot more complicated than that, but you get the idea. You know, the best thing about this party is that you're there and everything. It's really, really nice and inclusive. And not just because it comes from the Princess and the Frog, but just the whole message of it is, especially in our current day and age, really nice to see. So it seems to be very similar in terms of how much it's splashing people than Splash Mountain was near the end. It's not like that was having a bunch of problems and then they fixed it, at least from what I could tell. People are coming off this ride soaked. And if I had gotten to ride it early this afternoon when it was like 82 degrees, no big deal. But it was down like in the upper 60s because I rode it and it was dark. You know, it was like 6 p.m. or something because, you know, I had gone to DCA and then I reserved my lightning lane, but then was going back over there. But I didn't really get that wet. And thank God I didn't because, thankfully I didn't because I got very cold waiting for World of Color. You know, that's the thing about being in California. Even when sometimes when it hits in the 80s during the day, you'll have these like nights where it's near about 60 and tomorrow night's going to be in the 50s. Tomorrow I'm going to have to bring a jacket and I'll have to wear it in the morning because the high is only 69 tomorrow. And probably we'll have to rent a locker, or something if it gets too warm because I'm not going to carry it around the whole day. Yeah, I'll need it for the nighttime because they're open till midnight and it gets dark about 6 o'clock or something. So you're going to need it for that. And I don't know if I'll make it till midnight, but that's at least a possibility. So, but the funny thing is I did lightning lane. I did not do single rider. So single rider, you're probably more likely to sit in the back of a boat or something. But what happened is, just lined up where they had me step around a few people because I was a single rider. And they just had one spot, and I sat in the back. Not the most comfortable thing because I was sitting next to the person right in front of me was very giant man. And I don't mean like big, healthy or whatever. I just mean he was a big dude. And so it wasn't that comfortable because I felt like I didn't have a lot of room. And you're in that last seat, and all the seats were taken. We had, full group. But man, did he block most of the water, especially that one where you go down and back up in the middle. That water came flying and it hit him. The only water I got a little bit on my shorts and the back of my shirt, but mostly it was just in my shoes. It's because so much water was splashing everywhere each time that what it did is it just like pooled up in the boat. But yeah, the people in front of me were quite wet because I remember the last time I rode Splash Mountain, I was in the front, and that you don't want to be in the front on Disneyland Splash Mountain. No, if it's really hot out, go for it. But I don't know. Tomorrow, I was thinking I would ride Tiana's again. If I'm going to do it tomorrow, though, it's going to have to be, the sun's going to have to be out, and it's going to be a little warmer than is anticipated. But I thought it was better than I expected. I like a lot of what they did. Yes, there's a few screens that and some of the animation, a few of it doesn't look that great in a few of the screens, but the figures look great. I love what they did with that boat scene where they made it this like New Orleans, whole setup there. And just, it's really good. When everything's working, I think this is an attraction that's going to have real staying power, especially as people that ride it that maybe never rode Splash or don't have that weird nostalgia. Again, Splash was a great ride, and even the music, and I'm not talking about Song of the South, I'm just saying the actual ride, the music, and the way it hit all the beats, it was really well done, and the staging was well done. But so is Tiana's, and they have put figures in spots where there weren't figures, and in interesting places, and I'm going to really enjoy riding this in the future. I'm unsure if that will be tomorrow, But we'll see. Maybe in the afternoon, in the heat of the day, whatever that is. But when you have a day where you might be spending even more time than today. Today I was in the parks, if you say, even if you just rounded and say 7 a.m. to 9, that's 14 hours. But it was more like 6:45, at least in line, not in the parks, till 9:30. So, that's a whole nother, almost talking 15 hours. Tomorrow, the parks are open 16. So it's even more that way. But, okay. So I don't want to keep on that right now, but I just think my first experience with Tiana's with all the figures working and just the music's good and a lot of the lighting effects and everything added a lot to it. It's a completely different tone. Again, like you're going up that hill, it's more like, come on, we're going, it's going to be fun, go on down. It's not. Again, I was never really scared like that, but it was just the whole like Brer Rabbit and the vultures and everything, just a different vibe. And that's okay. That's cool that they didn't just like make a little tweaks. They used the bear, obviously the flume and the drops and everything. But then what Disney did with it is create something entirely different with different vibes. And that's really cool. So after that, I just quickly did Winnie the Pooh because I never actually done the Disneyland Winnie the Pooh. The last time we were there, we were in line and then they walk people out of it. And it's not in a location that if you're not going to be over there doing Tiana's or in the past Splash Mountain, you're not really going to get over there too often. Maybe you do if you're going to eat at the Hungry Bear, but you might not even go that much further. So I was like, I'll do it. 5-minute wait. Cute. I liked it better than I remember. I don't know if I'm just not being as critical with rides anymore. I enjoyed it more than I remembered liking Winnie the Pooh. The last few times we've been to Disney World, it always seems to have long lines, like 40, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and the lightning lanes go away, and we just haven't ridden it. So this one does not pull the same sort of lines, and so I'm glad I got to do that. And then I went over and did Smuggler's Run one time, just used the lightning lane. Because the people from the special event had come in, the standby for a lot of these rides didn't go crazy, but went from 5 to 20, 25, 30, whatever. So I did that. I was a gunner, hit the button a lot. Just keep hitting the button. We had pretty bad pilots. Our engineers weren't that great. Our overall scores were pretty bad. I don't remember ever having the whole thing at the end where Hondo talks about how the life support system's been destroyed and every single system's been destroyed. Now, this could have been a timing thing where they weren't ready to let us out or whatever. Sometimes that happens. But, yeah. I got hot shot, but I don't really know all the different ones. It's pretty bad, but I still enjoyed it. And I suspect that I'm going to do it again tomorrow, possibly some sort of single rider or maybe just use the lightning lane again, or if it's real short, do standby. So I don't think this was the last time I rode Smuggler's Run. Also, I want to get back over to Galaxy's Edge tomorrow night to see the projection show, which I think is a bit showing there. So it was not showing tonight, even though I was there at night. So that's cool, and check that out. And then decided, okay, there were just so many people in certain areas. Like I could tell right away that not as much as Galaxy's Edge, but in the main thoroughfares, it was like because all the people who were coming with a special event, like I would do if I was coming here for a special event, showed up, or a lot of them, not all of them, showed up like at 6, and then we're in the pathways. So I was like, my original thought, which I probably could have done just fine, was, okay, I'll watch Wondrous Journey. I mentioned this earlier, but instead I just decided that I was going to get out of there. But I did say, I'll go do, I'm really tired. I don't really need to be over there yet. I'll go do Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln, which I did. I don't remember the pre-show with All About Frederick Douglass. Maybe they had that the last time and we just didn't even see it. Like we went right in. But it's interesting because the lobby, a lot of the stuff in the lobby now is all kind of set up for, it's about Disneyland. It's a setup for the Walt show. I don't know if I'll see it again tomorrow because I've seen it multiple times and I do like it. Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln a lot. But it doesn't seem like the Walt Disney show is going to come back tomorrow, which is too bad. But I may check out that lobby. I want to look more into the Disneyland part. They had some kind of little animatronics that were pretty cool. So then I went over to DCA I wanted to eat something. I thought I'd check out San Francisco Square again. Figured I would do Mermaid once because it had basically no wait, though I had a lightning lane, so I used it. Probably saved maybe 3 minutes. That lobby is still kind of sad. And, we got to witness the world's creepiest animatronics, the Eric and Ariel at the end that are waving creepily with dead eyes. I mean, Ariel's got some issues because her mouth doesn't move, so that's kind of an issue with all the Ariels in the ride. But that last one with the two of them, oh my gosh, it's something. But Mermaid's fine. I like it. I like it enough. I think the Under the Sea is still a good scene. The Ursula animatronic is really impressive. It's just I don't need to go through it again. Kind of what it didn't really get to, and then also without having the nice exterior and everything else in DCA, because it went into the building that I think it was the Golden Dreams building, which is a movie I never saw in person. Not the greatest setup. But the outside of the building looks cool. It's just the inside and everything else, not so much. So then I quickly went over to San Francisco Square, and I saw the mobile order was actually fairly long for several. But I did mobile order at the Mexican place and had like 2 tacos, which were fine, but I think was my least favorite of the food I had today. Because I had, I'm trying to think of, I had the corn dog. That was good. Yeah, I had a sandwich at Panera. That was fine. But I'm thinking more of the Parks food. I had the Dole Whip, and then I had that really good egg roll. I needed something. I still don't know if I ate enough food today. The 2 tacos were fine. They're like steak tacos, really heavy on like this avocado setup in there. And I made it fine. It just didn't make it great. And I was also kind of in a hurry because I was worried, because I thought, well, what happens if I can't get a good spot in the viewing area for World of Color? That was not really needed. I mean, you need to get there. I would say get there on a day of this level of crowds, like 20 minutes before you can find a pretty good spot. I got there more like 35 minutes, 40 minutes, and that was too early because I was in such a rush. But once you're in there, the main part about me is I was just really sore, and then it was cold. I saw the original World of Color is the one that I saw. And then we did not see it in 23. It wouldn't have been this one, but I forget which one they were showing then. I saw World of Color Happiness, though the intro, the pre-show was related to Lunar New Year, which I thought was really well done. It was not the Muppets pre-show that they normally have. And then it's interesting because then the actual World of Color Happiness starts with them singing Rainbow Connection, which doesn't connect as well, but it's not the Muppets anyway. I think it's good. I think at this point I was just so tired. But in World of Color, the technology with the fountains going so high in the air and everything they do with the colors and everything is really impressive. And I'm glad I saw it again and was super impressed by it. And, was fairly close. I was not in the get wet zone. I did feel some mist, but I was right above that. So I had a great view, and I wasn't like first person in that, but I had a good view and better view than I expected. I kind of expected, because when I saw it in 2012, that was when they had like 4 different colors and you had to go wherever your color was. And even then my view was not nearly as good as this. This was, I think similar crowds, I think, but this was such a better view. And of course, all the Inside Out 2 characters are involved. And then, you got your dance party at the end with, I think it's Fitz and the Tantrums and a few other bands playing songs. And, I think it's well done. I'm glad I saw it. I'm not sure I'd put it on the same par as like my favorites, like the best Illuminations or Happily Ever After, but I think it's really good. I did think it was funny they played the song from Wish, and you could just sense that people had no connection to the song, which I know when they prepared this, they didn't know that. But, some of the other songs, like the Encanto songs, really drew a reaction from the audience. Like, you could tell people were singing along and really into it. Nothing for the song from Wish. But it was cool. I'm glad to see it. Okay, overall, I could not have guessed that I would do 36 attractions. I mean, this includes shows and things, but 36 attractions today. Given that the shorter operating hours, Disneyland only being open till 8, and then DCA being 9, but really that last hour was taken up by eating and waiting for World of Color. To have that and do 36 attractions, and if Tiana's hadn't broken at the time it did early in the day, that would have really changed how I toured, and I probably would have done a few more things. But that's bound to happen. And then also Indiana Jones being broken when I went to it kind of changed some things. But I got to ride it. So it's weird because it's like Today was kind of set up for me. I thought of it kind of as like, well, the second day is when I'm really going to go for it. The first day is just going to do as much as I can. And then I pretty much knocked out almost all the things that I thought I would be doing on the first day. Now, granted, I wanted to do a lot of these rides more than once, and I have not in some cases, like Pirates and Haunted Mansion. I haven't done Guardians Mission Breakout yet. So that's a big one. I would like to ride the Railroad. That's another one. I haven't gone to Toontown. I haven't done Runaway Railway at Disneyland than the other one, but I want to do that. I like to do Roger Rabbit. So that's a big area I haven't really done. Still some Fantasyland rides that I would like to do, but I got so much time. I'm not saying I'm going to get to do every single thing ever because, it just depends. And I don't want to do as much hopping tomorrow as I did today. I got real close, I think, to 30,000 steps today. Oh, boy. All things considered, great weather. Rope drop worked perfectly with getting on Peter Pan right away. Getting to do so many headliners. Barely waited. The longest wait was for World of Color, but if you take that out of it, my Radiator Springs Racers experience was probably a little longer. But even then, the actual wait for when I went on it was like 10 or 15 minutes. Most of the things were at most 20 minutes. I waited a lot of, sometimes 0, 5, 10, 15, a lot of lightning lanes, but even when I didn't, for the most part, I was only choosing things where I knew I could get on quickly. So, and I lucked out in a few cases. Being a single rider helps with that. Plus, things like Matterhorn, Space Mountain, single rider, web slingers, those are all great single rider attractions. So now when I said this was pretty short, it's gone on for a while, but I just got to say, tomorrow's almost gravy with how many things I've done today. I'm going to start at DCA. I think I might, if I'm close to the very front, wherever they rope drop it, I'm going to make a run for Radiator Springs Racers because I know I can walk fast. I don't need to be the first person, but if I can get on that legitimately without worrying about single rider or everything else, I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to use my lightning lane on Mission Breakout right up front. Also want to ride Toy Story Mania. The Incredicoaster is supposed to open tomorrow. And of course, the big one, Soarin' over California, because I haven't thought about rope dropping Soarin' over California just because I want to do it multiple times. So that's the only thing. That's the only question mark is like, is there going to be a big crowd for Soarin' over California? It probably won't be that different. And if it is, I'll at least have a lightning lane, but I would like to ride it multiple times. So I might even, if I do Radiator Springs Racers, turn around and head right over to Soarin' right after. So we'll see. But I'm going to check in again tomorrow, which is day 3. But, this has been quite a great day. I'm going to sign off from this one, and then we'll let Dan take it home. But this has been a lot of fun, and hope you've enjoyed these clips, and they weren't too rambly. Kind of took you into the park and the mind of somebody trying to navigate the park. So I really enjoyed it today. Had a great day. I'm exhausted, but had a blast. Can't believe how much I did. Looking forward to tomorrow. May have to move a bit slower than today, but that's okay. I think I'm still going to have a great time. All right, signing off for tonight. I got to get going, start thinking about sleeping. Talk to you again soon.
Wow, it is crazy to hear just how tired I sounded. What is up with that voice? Oh my goodness. Well, I got a little rambly near the end in the hotel room, so I'm going to keep this pretty brief. I just want to say thanks again for joining me on this Disneyland Solo Trip Report. It was a blast to put this together, and of course, to have the trip was amazing. If you're trying to support the show in any way, just let other people know, like, hey, did you know there's a new episode of the Tomorrow Society podcast? Do you want to check this out? It's kind of a cool trip report. You could buy me a Dole Whip if you want. That's still out there, tomorrowsociety.com/Dole Whip. I had 2 Dole Whips on the trip. One was a swirl, one was a float. I think the swirl was better, actually. I think that would have been the smarter move the second time. But regardless, both of them were great. And, overall, it was a blast. I'm glad I finally got to ride Tiana. So I'm kind of kicking myself. Now I'm home. I'm like, why didn't I ride it more times? But come on, it was really cold, but I am sure I'm going to ride it plenty of times in the future. And just getting to do so much, 36 attractions in this first day. And, I probably could have done more because it's really when you get to some of the ones that load slower, like your DCA type attractions, that things slow down. But at Disneyland, it's like, come on, they're all right next to each other. Just go, go, go. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed this format and just having some fun, talking about the parks. Hope you're all hanging there doing great out there. And you know what? We've got another one of these next week, day number 2 of my visits to the parks. And there's a lot from that one too. We're just getting started here, and this has been so much fun here in the cold February, though today is strangely warm here in St. Louis. But overall, a cold February to look back at. Hey, it was 80 degrees a few weeks ago when I was at Disneyland. So take care out there, and I will talk to you again very soon. Next time on my solo Disneyland trip report.
We got about 15 minutes before they drop the rope, and then comes the mad scramble with me and hundreds of other people behind me. With hundreds, maybe thousands of people behind you with the attendees coming. It's really something. Right now, Racer's now down, Soarin's down, Incredicoaster's down, Toy Story Mania was down earlier. All right, Goofy Sky School. Ow. Ow, ow. So I did it. Soarin' over California, the OG, the original, the champion. We've still got a long way to go. It's not even 7 o'clock yet, which you'd be like, wow, 7 o'clock, that's a pretty long day, Dan. You started at 7 a.m. this morning. Yeah, there's still 5 hours before close.